Guys, I decided to do something a little different today. Um, I'm inspired for a couple different reasons, but most of all out of boredom, and my internet's down, so kind of sucks. But I figured I'd do this. I do a lot of movie reviews, so I figured I'd do something else. I read a lot, and I figured I'd pull a few books out of my vast library of books and show you guys some books. Tell you guys what I'm reading right now. I tend to read multiple books at once. I'll read like 10 to 15 books. Obviously not at the same exact time, but I read 10 to 15 different books at once. So, but I will show you guys some stuff that I'm reading right now. I just picked this up. Horns. Joe Hill. Joe Hill is very cool. Joe Hill is the son of Stephen King. He has done some other books that I own and that I really like. And right now, this book is basically about this guy that, let me just read the back cover to you so I don't have to try to tell you, excuse me, that was gross, but in my own words what it was about. So, the New York Times best-selling author of Heart-Shaped Box returns with a relentless supernatural thriller that runs like hell on wheels. Marion Williams is dead, slaughtered under inexplicable circumstances, leaving her beloved boyfriend, Ignatius Parrish, as the only suspect. On the first anniversary of Marion's murder, spends the night drunk and doing awful things. When he wakes the next morning, he has a thunderous hangover and horns growing from his temples. Ig possesses a terrible new power to go with his terrible new look, a macabre gift he intends to use to find the monster who killed his lover. Being good and praying for the best got him nowhere. Now it's time for revenge. It's time the devil had his due. Horns. I like the little catch line to it. It says, when it comes to revenge, the devil is in the details. So cool. I mean, here's a picture of Joe Hill right here. I don't know if you guys can see that well. Very cool book. Very cool. I'm like halfway through. Very funny stuff. There's a lot of humor in it. He's really good. He also wrote Heart-Shaped Box, which is awesome. Heart-Shaped Box is so cool. And I won't read the back of this to you guys, but Heart-Shaped Box is basically about this like aged rocker who is kind of like an Alice Cooper kind of guy. And he has a collection of very macabre stuff. He has like a shrunken head and like, like a skull, some skull or some, I don't know, a bunch of like macabre weird stuff. And basically what he does is there's an ad online saying that there's a suit that belonged to some old guy or something, and it's a haunted suit. This suit is haunted, and it's for sale. It's like $1,000, and so he buys it, and there entails the plot to the movie or to the book Heart-Shaped Box. Very cool book. I can guarantee if you're a horror fan, you will enjoy this book. So buy it. I am a freaking huge fan of Neil Gaiman. Neil Gaiman or Gaiman, whatever you want to call him, he is unbelievable. He's a brilliant author, a brilliant writer, a very unique mind in literature. And I love Neil Gaiman, whatever. He's probably my favorite author. I loved the Sandman series of comics, and Neil Gaiman's review on this book was this, and listen to this because it speaks volumes. It says, Heart-Shaped Box is quite simply the best debut horror novel since Clive Barker's Damnation Game 20 years ago. It's the kind of book that the overworked adjectives people use on book jackets, relentless, gripping, powerful, a genuine page-turner, were really meant to describe. For it's all of those things and enormously smart besides. A genuinely scary novel filled with people you care about. The kind of book that still stays in your mind after you turned over the final page. I loved it unreservedly. Wow, man, I thought, like, when he compared it to Damnation Game, whew, Damnation Game was badass. I mean, anyone who knows Clive Barker, Damnation Game is gonna, like, stick out in your head as, like, one of the favorite works of Clive Barker. So, damn, I mean, check that out. Very cool, heart-shaped box, horns. Also, he did this book. My kid ruined the sleeve on it, so it's it's 20th Century Ghosts. See that? Pretty cool book. It's a collection of shorts, and it's basically ghost stories. Really cool stuff in here. Check that out too. I can't say I liked it as much as Heart-Shaped Box, but and Horns is really cool too. So, check that out. Mentioning Clive Barker, I just picked this up. Clive Barker, Books of Blood, volumes 1 to 3, all in one really cool edition. Wow. Dude, anyone I'd say with a short attention span that wants to check out some really cool horror stuff, check out Books of Blood. Because they're shorts, you know, you don't have to read a full book, and they're freaking amazing. I mean, I think, like, Midnight Meat Train came from this, Dread, what else came from this? Rawhead Rex, I like, my favorite was actually inspired by a guy that I met at Bookman's, which is a bookstore here in Mesa, Arizona, which is freaking amazing, and that's where I bought this. And if you can believe, I got this freaking book for $3 freaking, dude. Look at this. $3? Because there's a little damage to these first few pages. But I was like, whoa, dude, $3? Cool. Freaking get it. So, that's what this is, dude. Check it out. Books of Blood. Get it. But anyways, a guy told me his favorite story in Books of Blood was Pig Blood Blues. So I was like, okay, Pig Blood Blues. Actually, he was like, you know, I wish they would make Pig Blood Blues into a film. So, and I couldn't remember Pig Blood Blues. I actually read Books of Blood when I was a real little kid. I mean, and we're talking in the 1980s. I'm 35 years old now, so in the 1980s I read it. I was a real young kid, maybe 10 or 11 years old. And man, I was so drawn into these stories and so impressed and disturbed and just, I loved them. So I couldn't really remember that story, but then when I went back and read it, it's so cool. So you guys just check out Books of Blood. This edition, I really recommend this edition because it's all in one. It's got pretty big print, and check it out, man. I think you guys will love it. I know you'll love it. I know you'll love it. Another one I picked up at Bookman's, which I'm giving some good shout-outs to right now, was Shadowland, Peter Straub, or Straub, whatever. I'm not a big fan of his. I've never read a lot of his stuff. I read a couple things, like when he collaborated with Stephen King. Not a big fan of Stephen King books either. I know he's got great stuff. I know people will probably not like me saying that, but I'm sorry. It's just, he's not my cup of tea for some reason. I've read, like, The Shining, I've read It, I read Carrie, I read Christine, I read a few other things from him. I believe I read The Dead Zone. But I'm just not a huge Stephen King fan. But I respect him a great deal. I really respect his opinion. I love his stories. I love the ideas of his stories. I'm just not a huge fan of his writing style. I guess I'm kind of a nerdy, literary guy where I like stuff that is very elaborate, super ton of metaphors, and very literate. I think that's why I'm such a big Clive Barker fan. But anyways, Shadowland. I haven't read it yet. It says the ultimate masterpiece of modern horror. I'm going to read you the back of it because I thought it sounded really cool. It says, "You have been there if you have ever been afraid. Come back to a dark house deep in the Vermont woods where two friends are spending a season of horror apprenticed to a master magician, learning secrets best left unlearned, entering a world of incalculable retarded this morning. Incalculable evil, more ancient than death itself, more terrifying and more real. Only one of them will make it through Shadowland." And then King gave a review that said, "I thought it was creepy from page 1. I loved it." I just think that sounds really cool. Two dudes in the Vermont woods with a master magician, bunch of evil, and they're spending a season of horror apprenticed to a master magician. I thought it sounded great. I don't know. Don't know it. Don't know if it's going to be good. Don't know. But I could probably say it's going to be good. I'm sorry. I'm gonna go back a little bit and let you guys know that what I said about Stephen King, I totally take back. Because Salem's Lot is dope. Salem's Lot is really cool. So if you haven't read Salem's Lot, ultimate vampire story, just a really, really cool book. So check out Salem's Lot. Salem's Lot is really good. Okay, sorry. Another one that I'm reading right now, Drood. Drood. When I first learned about this novel, which was a few years ago, 4 or 5 years ago, I've actually read this before, but I got in this edition. I picked this edition up just to reread it, and I'll just read the back of it to you. It can probably be described much better on the back than by me. So it says, "On June 9th, 1863, while traveling by train to London with his secret mistress, 53-year-old Charles Dickens, at the height of his powers and popularity, the most famous and successful novelist in the world, hurtled into a disaster that changed his life forever. Did Dickens begin living a double life after the accident? Were his nightly forays into the worst slums of London and his deepening obsession with corpses, crypts, murder, opium dens, lime pits, and a hidden London beneath London mere research, or something much darker? Based on the historical details of Charles Dickens' life and narrated by Wilkie Collins, Dickens' friend, frequent collaborator, and Salieriesque secret rival, Drood explores the still unsolved mysteries of the author's last years and may provide the keys to his final, unfinished work, The Mystery of Edwin Drood. Chilling, haunting, and utterly original, Drood is Dan Simmons at his powerful best." I'm not a fan of Dan Simmons until I read this book. I love it. So check out Drood. I heard they're making a movie of it, which will be cool. Also, something you guys might not know about, and I just thought of this for some reason. My mind is very scattered. They're making a remake to Old Boy. I know you guys know Old Boy, the movie Old Boy. And guess who's doing it? Spike Lee. Wow, right? Okay, sorry. That was a little rant. Anyways, Drood, Dan Simmons, great stuff. I'm not a big fan of Dan Simmons, but I'm a big fan of Dan Simmons' Drood. So check that out. Another thing I just picked up, Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter, this edition. I have the hardcover, which is great. It actually, when I first heard of it, Seth Grahame-Smith, I was like, you know what, that's going to suck. It's just going to be lame. When I read it, I was so wrong. It is so good. It actually is very historically correct, which sounds retarded. But it is historically correct with a lot of details of Lincoln's life. But, you know, the vampire stuff, I don't, you know, probably not, but whatever. Check out Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter. This edition is cool. I liked it just because of the cover. It's from the movie. There's a movie coming out from Timur Bekbetov. He is the guy who did Night Watch and Day Watch, which are freaking phenomenal. Check those out too. Anyways, Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter. Cool edition, cheap edition. So if you didn't buy the hardcover with the awesome head behind his body holding the severed head, run out and pick this up. This is just kind of, I actually bought this for my 11-year-old, my 10-year-old, actually 11-year-old. I have an 11-year-old son now, and he is going to read this. He kind of wanted to read it, so I was like, here, I'll get you your own copy. So I got that for him, but I find myself reading it more than him. Another one I picked up not too long ago, The Strain, Guillermo del Toro. I'll just read the back of this to you guys. At New York's JFK Airport, an arriving Boeing 777 taxiing along a runway suddenly stops dead. All the shades have been drawn. All communication channels have mysteriously gone quiet. Dr. F. Goodweather, head of the CDC Rapid Response Team investigating biological threats, boards the darkened plane, and what he finds makes his blood run cold. A terrifying contagion has come to the unsuspecting city, an unstoppable plague that will spread like an all-consuming wildfire, lethal, merciless, hungry, vampiric. And in a pawn shop in Spanish Harlem, an aged Holocaust survivor knows that the war has been dreading, that he has been dreading his entire life, is finally here. Guillermo del Toro partnered up with Chuck Hogan and wrote this book. This is very cool. It's a trilogy. The trilogy is now complete. The third installment just came out not too long ago, I believe, in December. Or December, maybe November. I don't know. Something like that. Anyways, check it out. I think you guys would really enjoy that. Even if you're not big on vampires, which I'm not, I think you'll like that. So, anyways, that is what I got for you guys. Just wanted to share some books that I have laying around here on my desk. That's that. So, you guys have a great day. I will post this immediately. God bless. Take care.